Yo, and welcome back to, this is episode 2 now, or part 2, I guess, of the HackRF 1 PortaPack H2. In the last video, we discussed the internal speaker that we installed. In the link of that video, I went ahead and found the appropriate speaker with the appropriate cable length. That way, you don't have to do what I did and solder a jumper to it. So what I ended up doing on my unit right here is my speaker inside. You can barely see that. I happen to have a jumper that was long enough to go from the speaker terminal all the way up to here. So I just unsoldered the current jumper on the speaker and then soldered in the new jumper. Usually if you're a DIY person or into any kind of microcontroller, or any of this kind of stuff like that, you may have a jumper lying around. The ones I had lying around came from a Meshtastic system that I'm working on right now. But anyway, so I was fortunate to have a jumper again long enough to go from here all the way over to here. So we're good there. But in today's video, we are going to be going over the SD card, the firmware update, and the easiest way to update the firmware, as well as the map packages for the firmware, the basic functions, the top menu, which is this area up here, settings, background images, and the memory bank. So let's get into it. So I am running the most recent firmware, which is the Mayhem version 19 or 1.9.0, which came out 7 days ago. I believe it was on Christmas Day, actually. You're going to just Google PortaPack Mayhem GitHub or something simple like that. And usually the first link that pops up is going to be eRead PortaPack Mayhem custom firmware for the HackRF. Once you go to that link, you'll see the latest firmware from there. Just tap on latest and you're going to scroll all the way to the bottom. And you're going to have 3 options. You're going to have the Mayhem version 1.9.0 firmware, and then the other 2 options you're going to have, which is your menu, or no, I'm sorry, not your menu, but all your files. So like any of your radio frequencies, any of your playback frequencies, except those are all going to be in that option right there. So go for the larger one, the 516.6 megabyte, because you do want the map package. So what you're going to do is you're just going to hit download on those, and for me, I'm going to open this up in Safari, because for some reason when I go to GitHub's actual app, it doesn't show that I can save it to my files. So I'm going to be showing you how to do this from an iPhone. You can do this from a computer. I know that there's a few other videos out there that do this from a computer, and they use the whether it's a terminal or the command prompt on a PC. But we're going to be doing this from an iPhone because I like this option. And I will tell you why. My main reason why I'm going to do this from an iPhone, or how I'm going to update the firmware from an SD card only and not the terminal, is because you have to pop the SD card out anyways, and you have to pop it out to put the maps on there, or the packages on there. So we're going to just use that option. So once these are done downloading, let's see here, we're almost done now. For now, we're going to power off the HackRF. We are going to pop the SD card out. And you may need to use a knife or something small because it is in there a ways. Let's see if I can get this on camera. And then you kind of have to use a knife to just push it out to where you can grab it with your fingernails, if you have fingernails. But I don't. So another video that I saw is a guy put some like ribbon tape on here that we can just pull it out easier. So that's that. So I'm using a PNY 32 gig. I think the max that the HackRF can read is 32 gigs. So, but now that my files are done downloading, we're going to use this right here by Uni, I think is how you say it. This is from Amazon. This is just a USB-C on one side, USB on the other side. You have your micro SD, then you have a regular SD card reader right there. So we're going to pop this guy in, and then from there we can go to our phone. Now with the iPhone 15, I think is what this is, we have USB-C now, which is amazing. So from there, we're going to go to our files. There we go, files. And we have our Mayhem, and then we have our packages. So I believe, let's see here, which one is this? This is their firmware. So on the firmware, what you're going to do is you can just go to your firmware. We're at the PortaPack H2. You want the bin. Tap and hold, go to copy. From there, you're going to go to browse, and then you're going to, I title my SD card HackRF, so I'm just going to tap on that. And then that is actually going to go into your firmware package, which is right there. And from there, you just paste it. And then it's going to paste over. Now, for the other files, and I'm not going to do them because they take a while, and I already have them on there. But for the other files, you're going to go to your bigger file, which is a 516. You're going to tap on that guy. Once it uncompresses, you're going to have your folder. Okay, so it is, so when it uncompresses, it's going to be titled SD card, and then you're going to copy all of these over to your SD card. So you have your ADSB files, your apps, your firmware. Again, the firmware actually is already on there, so you don't have to do step one. You can actually just take this whole file, copy it to your SD card, and then you can be able to update from there. So, and then here's everything else is on here: your GPS, your playlist, your splash images. It has a few built into it, and we'll be going over how to make your own. It's pretty simple. Your GPS files, your remotes, all your stuff is on here, even your SSTV, where you can actually send SSTV images, which is pretty cool if you're into SSTV. So, all right, so once that is copied over, we're just going to pop that out, and we're going to have your SD card back over here. We're going to go back to the unit itself. The SD card goes face down, so terminal side up. Reuse your knife or your paper clip or whatever you have available to push it in until it locks in place, and then we can power this unit back on. Now to update your firmware, we're going to go down to utilities right there, and then we're going to go to flash utility. Now in here you're going to see, depending on what unit you do this in, for some reason on Macs they drop in this sub kind of category with the period, underscore, then the title name. I obviously have two firmwares in here already, since I just copied that one over here. So that's what you're seeing too. So here's your firmware. Here's the one you want. Whichever one you put on there is the most recent one. So you're just going to tap that. This will replace your current firmware. If things go wrong, you are required to flash manually with the DFU mode. DFU is this guy right here on top. This is reset. This is DFU. So you just hit yes, and let's go ahead and do it. So we're just going to tap yes. Now you see the top light right here blinking. Once it's done flashing, it'll stop blinking. And then it reboots, and bam, you're now running the new firmware. Simple as that. You don't need to have to plug this thing into your, stupid old micro USB and then go to your computer and then log into your terminal and do all your command prompts. Just copy the freaking files over, put them on an SD card, slap it in there, and you're good to go. All right, so going back now to our phone, we're going to be going over this top menu area up here and what this means. So let's go back here. So if you go to your back to GitHub, right where you got your firmware from, if you go to when you go to your main area of GitHub and you're at the PortaPack main screen, where it has all the updates, you're gonna see this awesome documentation of what model to get. And I think I discussed this in the last one, like different models to look out for, which ones to get, which ones not to get, what to buy, things to look out for as far as this area right here, which says, note, if buyer just purchased PortaPack HQ, please visit the link to update the firmware. You want to make sure that the unit that you are buying is compatible with GitHub's Mayhem firmware updates, because if not, you're SOL. All right. Now, if you want to learn more about what this unit can do, and we will be going through a lot of this, but there's an awesome area at the bottom. What if I need help? Click on that documentation right there. That's going to take you to the pretty much help page. And from there, your user manual is all right there. I mean, this thing is very well put together. It has everything you can possibly think of what you need to know regarding your unit. So again, right now we're going to be going over the title bar. I'm going to tap on title bar, and then we can go through this together. Okay. So again, your title bar is this unit way up here at the top. And let me crank my lens in a little further so we can get in close to that. There we go. All right, these little icons way at the top. Okay, what do those mean? We're going to start from right and go to the left. So the current one that you're seeing is the SD card. Guess what that means? It means that there's an SD card in the unit. Simple as that. Indicates presence of SD card, green if SD card was found. Perfect, great. The next one over is pretty much a mute and unmute. Enable speaker output on the PortaPack with AK4951 codec. Green if activated. Warning, do not enable a speaker already works when disabled. As on open source SDR lab PortaPack H2. Okay. The next one over that is going to be your mute. So we can mute and unmute right there. Sorry. There we go. Simple as that. The next one indicates status of the external clock. Green is selected. So external clock. There we go. Green is selected. All right. After that, we got toggle DC power on antenna port. Yellow is selected. So if you have an antenna that you need to have more oomph in, you just simply click on that little guy and you're going to get some more power. Your next one is toggle up conversion or down conversion, green and activated. So that is your frequency up and down. That's going to be your offset of frequencies, and you can set that into utilities later on if you would like to do that. So you would go, I'm sorry, not utilities, converter. If you need to set that offset, you go to your converter area, and then you can, from there, you can select your pretty much your offset of your kilohertz or megahertz or whatever you need. So that's pretty straightforward, I think. Here, your next unit over is this little guy with the hat on it. That is stealth mode. Green is selected. I believe under the fine print, if enable green, transmitting will be done with the screen's backlight off. The TX LED will also be blinking once per second to indicate activity. Force the backlight on again by pressing any button. Currently, this function is not activated on all transmit applications. The setting of stealth mode held in present memory and may need to be reset after firmware upgrade. So, after that, we have the sleep mode. Go to sleep. Simple as that, right? Pop any button to kick it back on. And then the next one after that is screenshot. We can take a screenshot of where we're at. If you would like to post that to, say, your Instagram, your Facebook, YouTube, for instance, that's just a good way to kind of screenshot what you're actually doing on the unit. And that is pretty much it regarding the top menu area. Simple as that. Now, we did go over the map packages because that was part of the firmware. So that's our next topic, right? So what does a map package mean? So hopefully we're going to get in luck right now, and there may be an aeroplane flying above us. They've been out quite a bit today. Oh, I'm taking screenshots, nothing right. My bad. All right. we're going to go to receive. We're going to go to ADBS. Kicker antenna a little bit higher. There we go. We got an aeroplane. Sweet. Okay. So what the map package does is, say you got an aeroplane, you want to see where it's at. All right. So right now we're looking at the Cougar. What is that? Cougar 18. And it's currently flying at 161 miles an hour. That is kind of slow, actually. There we go. All right. So I believe that this is going to be a small twin engine little plane because of the speed it's going at. But anyways, you're going to click on that. If you want to see this on the map, there you go. So if you do not install the map package version of the firmware with the larger file, for instance, you're not going to have your world maps. So then you won't be able to see all this fun data, and you won't be able to see where your airplane is going. That's pretty much the reason why I suggest getting the larger one. And then from there again, oh, it's a helicopter. Here we go. That's what that is. Helicopter turbo shaft engine. 2 engines. Sweet. So anyways, little side tip of why you want to install the map package unit. All right. We're going to do the basic function of this unit. We kind of covered this on the last video, but you know, once your unit's off, one press on, this right here, we're going to pop the knob off so you can see this better. But right here, you have 1, 2, 3, and then 4 LED lights. This is actually your battery level. I've been playing with this thing all morning long, so right now I have roughly 75% battery left. So that kind of covers the basic unit. Again, this is your up, down, left, right. Center, your enter button would be right here. So you can kind of see how those things work. This thing does run on USB micro, which I really don't care for anymore because everything should be USB-C. And then there's your headphone jack, right? So something to consider is that if you have a lot of USB-C devices, it's better just to get a little thing like this. This is a USB micro, and then on a USB-C on the backside. There you go. That just means that you can take any regular USB-C cable, pop it in there, and then you have an easy way to charge this device. We discussed also that your max memory on this unit is 32 gigs. Not that you'll ever need that I can think of. 16 will probably be just enough, but it does do 32 gigs. So now let's get into the fun stuff, because like any device, it's not a device unless you can customize it, right? Which is why I like the clear one. You know, I put the backplate on there. You know, we did the speaker upgrade in there. We have the B and C connector on there that we can swap out any antennas. Our next topic, though, is going to be how to customize, like we were discussing before I took that wonderful sidetrain, and customizing your images, right? Your backgrounds, right? Goonies never say die. That's one that I made. If you want to do your own images, you're going to go to Utilities. You're going to go to File Manager. You're going to scroll all the way down to set 1. All right, Splash. Okay. These files are saved in bitmap. The dimensions are 240 by 240. So that helps you to understand how big your image needs to be. Okay. So there's your Mayhem one, right? You right button to update Splash. So for instance, let's just update. Okay. Let's go hit right button, right? And there. Now that means that when we shut this unit off and we kick it back on, we should see the Mayhem screen come up. There we go. That's as easy as it gets to update your screen. So again, that was under Utilities, File Manager. We're going to go all the way down to Splash. And then we're just going to go to whichever one you want, right? There's a default one. Let's try this one out. Cool. Right button. Awesome. Sweet. Power the unit off. So anyways, you get the point, right? So what we're going to do is we're going to go and create our own image, right? So let's see here. Let's go to here. We're going to do a little brainwashing for y'all. And actually, hang on. Yeah, subscribe. Now let's just screenshot that guy. Okay, sweet. Online. Okay. Resize images. We're going to select a file. Okay. Again, photo library. Let's go to resize multiple images. Let's just try this in simple image resizer. Select an image, photo library, like and subscribe, done. Okay. And then I want the dimensions to be 240. Oh, it's keeping, we got to take that out. All right, so let's go 240 by 240. Done. Resize. Download that one, right? So looks kind of shitty, but hey, it's all right. Okay, we're gonna keep it anyways. All right, save the photos. Okay, now let's go back to the image to BMP bitmap converter. Now we're gonna select that file. All right, convert. Got that. So we're gonna cross this guy out. Select file, photo library. This weird shaped one right here that looks horrible, but this is just for viewing purposes, really. We can fix this later on. All right, now we're convert this to BMP and convert. You get processing, download. All right, from there, let's go ahead and power off our unit. We're going to grab our knife again. We're going to eject that SD card, and hopefully it doesn't come flying out and stabbing my eyeball out. Oh, I lost it. There it is. All right. Okay. Going to go back to our phone here. We're going to go back to my files. All right, files. Go to downloads. Okay, there's our hideous looking image, right? We're going to pop in our SD card back into our uni. And then from there, let's go to downloads. Let's take that image. We're going to copy it. Copy. Let's go back to HackRF. Let's go find our splash folder. And that is going to be samples. Splash. And we're just going to paste that in there. Make sure copies fully. There we go. Okay. Now we should be able to pop this guy out. Go back here. Take out the SD card. Put it back in the HackRF SD card slot. Push that down with your knife. Power the unit on. Let's go to our utilities. File manager. And go all the way down to splash. And there is our image. Like and subscribe. Right button, update splash. There we go. Power this guy off. Power it on. Beep. And we should see like and subscribe. Or reverse that. Subscribe and like. Either one, do them both, please. So, that is the gist of today's topic, I believe. Let me check my notes. Background image, memory bank. My bad. Scratch that. All right. Let's go to our memory bank now. The memory bank is where we were at earlier, which is your utilities, file manager. Again, we kind of briefly discussed this. So this is your ADSB, AIS, APPS, APRS, audio, yada, 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 yada. Sorry, your captures that you do screenshots on, they go right here. That's where they get saved to, okay? So simple as that. You got your firmware. Your Freakman is all of your awesome frequency files. So CB band. We can go all the way down to chipped. We've got DVB-TR. We got Japan frequencies. We've got standard FM frequencies. We've got Freenet, FRS, GMRS, GSMR, FR. We've got ham, 2 meters, 70 centimeter, ISM. We got your jammers. We got your key fobs, MERS, weather, POXAT, recon, yada, 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 yada. It's all right there, right? So that means that if you ever wanted to use one of these files, let's just go exit. If you're going to use one of those files, say you wanted to load up in your scanner and you want to hear something, right? So we're in our scanner app, okay? We're going to go to load over here. So you can kind of toggle this around, hit load. We're going to go down to our 2 meter band. Now we don't have an antenna on, so we may not get nothing. So, and then once you're in your 2 meter band, it'll just start searching. It'll search through all of its saved frequencies for that 2 meter band. So that's kind of how that works. This is your volume for your speaker or your headphones is right here. This is your amp for your antenna. This is your LNA and your VGA. We can discuss that in a later date. And then if you want to do any kind of customized searching, you can enter that right here at the bottom. So pause, audio, add frequency, yada, 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 yada. So that is pretty much the gist of that. Let's see. Let's make sure we covered everything that we were going to cover. We did our SD card. We did our firmware. We did our terminal update versus the SD card update. We did the map packages, basic functions, top menu, settings, background images, and memory bank. We did not do settings. So settings are going to be under settings. Simple as that, right? Calibration. This is to calibrate the screen, okay? That's simple as that. Converter. This is what we were talking about earlier for your offset frequency. That little guy way up there. That's where that's going to be at. Okay. Date and time. Set your date and time right there. Encoder dial. Adjust how many steps to change the encoder value. Dial sensitivity is normal. Okay. Let's do that as fine. Frequency correct. If this thing is for some reason at a weird offset frequency, that's where you're going to go to kind of correct those frequencies. There we go. Make sure we're focusing on the right things for y'all. Okay. We got your program memory management. Use SD card. Yes, we want to leave it on the SD card. QR code. I don't know what that is. We're going to learn about that. User interface. Disable touchscreen. Backlight off after 10 minutes, right? Show splash. Yes. Show clock within time only. Oh, sorry. Show clock with time only. And then here is your, you can also show or hide which icons you want on the top menu over down here. So test button, no premium saved. Say cancel. Okay. Format for the SD card is FAT32. I didn't try anything else, but that's kind of standard for a lot of these kind of things. So we have a lot to cover in the coming weeks. I appreciate your support. Thank you again, and peace out.